Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, and also welcome to Shelter Island, where I'm spending the weekend because my fiance decided to surprise me on my birthday. So I'm super happy to be here. I did want just to sit down and film and show you guys my vacation routine and the makeup products that I use, or maybe lack thereof. I wanted to go over a few skincare products because I think skincare is so important when you travel, especially in the summer. So that's what this little video is going to be about, and I hope this is something you're interested in, and please keep on watching. Okay guys, so the first thing that I usually do when I get back to my hotel room after being in the sun all day, you usually go to the pool, the beach, or whatever. So when I travel, I always bring a bunch of sheet masks. It's super important to hydrate your skin when you're out in the sun all day. So that's the first thing I did when I got back to my hotel room. I used the sheet mask, and I'm going to insert a little clip of it because I actually found a really great sheet mask in Sephora that's great for when you're out in the sun all day. And staying on the topic of skincare, which is mostly what this video is going to be about, because honestly, when I go out, especially in the summertime when I travel, I don't really like to put on a lot of makeup on my skin, especially after spending all day in the sun. You know, your skin changes, you might be red, you might be a lot darker, so it's really hard also to match your foundation, which is why I don't like to wear it. And I also don't like to cover my skin after being out in the sun all day. I really skip makeup altogether, and I just focus on my lashes and a little bit of eyebrows. Even with my eyebrows, I do like to, of course, pencil in my eyebrows, and I do that using my Anastasia of Beverly Hills, like I always do, my Anastasia Brow Wiz. But usually when I go out and I have a lot more makeup on, I'll start out by using a pomade, which is a little bit more intense and is going to give you a little bit more of a defined, a little bit more of a harsh brow, if you will. So in the summertime when I go out and I don't really have makeup on, I don't want them to be as harsh. I still want them to be nice and defined, but not as harsh. So I just do that with the pencil alone. So again, I'm using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Ebony. So the next thing I do, I curl my eyelashes a little bit to give them a little bit of a boost, and then I apply 2 or 3 coats of mascara. When I go out in the summertime, I'm definitely very generous with my mascara because that's really the only thing that I'm wearing. So I want my eyelashes at least to stand out. So you still feel like you're wearing a little something when you're going out for a nice dinner, even in the summertime, and you're keeping the makeup very, very minimal. Now, staying on the topic of skincare, like I said, I always start out by using a sheet mask, especially after being in the sun all day. I put on that sheet mask, I let it soak into my skin. I then jump into the shower. So the first thing that I do after the shower is apply a nice thick moisturizer, and I like to do that especially after the sun because your skin can get really, really dry. And I definitely like to use a thicker face cream in the summertime, especially after spending the day in the sun, just because your skin tends to get a little bit dry. Mine does, at least. So always go in with a little bit of a thicker facial cream. And a great tip for you guys for when you travel, this is what I do. For those of you guys who shop a lot in Sephora, I definitely do. And what I like to do is I like to accumulate all my Sephora points and use them for skincare, especially when you travel, because I do think that skincare is very important. So there are certain products and good products that I want to keep on my skin even when I travel, but I don't want to bring those big tubes or those big jars of lotion. So when I see a really good skincare product, I always stock up on those. So for instance, in Sephora, they always come out with either 100 point or 500 points products, and they're usually bigger than samples. You can also go in and get samples, but when it comes to skincare, I just find that you need a little bit more than just a sample, because with skincare you need to try it out, I would say at least a week, to see if you really like it. So what I do, like I said, when I accumulate my point and I see a really good skincare brand that I really like, I just stock up. So instead of just getting one, I might actually ask for 4 or 5 of them and almost have a full-size product. I have so many products, and when I travel I can't bring all of them. I don't want to bring all the full-size products because that would just be another bag just of product. I accumulate my points, and then when I see one of my favorite brands, I just stock up on them, and then I have all of these handy for when I travel. And also that way you don't have to necessarily travel with the drugstore products. Not that there's anything wrong with them, and not that you can't find great skincare products also in the drugstore. I just like to stock up on my travel skincare this way. So I'm just going to go over some of the products that I use for when I travel. This is by Drunk Elephant. I love this cream so much, and it's called the Lala Retro Whipped Cream, and it's a really thick moisturizer, and I love it for that. But you should apply this straight out of the shower just to let it sit and give it a little bit of time to sink in, because it is a thicker moisturizer. So that's what I put on today firstly. And this is actually a full-size product, which I don't mind traveling with because it's an eye cream, so they're usually a smaller jar. So I do travel with this one, as well as the Clinique one, which is also a sampler size from Sephora. But today I use my old Henriksen. This is the Banana Bright Eye Cream, and I like to use that underneath my eyes, especially when I don't wear makeup, and it will brighten a little bit and give you that bright effect underneath your eyes, as well as all the other amazing benefits of this eye cream, which I highly, highly, highly recommend. And I also really like this Glam Glow moisturizer, and again, this one I got by using my points in Sephora. So these are just my standard 4 eye creams or face creams that I like to travel with. Once in a while I'll use other ones, but these are the ones that I'm traveling with right now. First I went in with the Lala Retro Whipped Cream by Drunk Elephant, and then I used the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream for the under eyes. So yeah, you guys, that's really a topic that I wanted to cover mostly in this video. It's all about skincare. And then also on my lips, I love the Clinique Pep Start. This is really a night mask, but I just use it all day long, especially when I'm out in the sun. This is a lip mask, so it's thicker, and I just love wearing that all day long. And I actually use that when I go out also, because when I don't have makeup on, in general, I don't wear a lot of colored lipsticks, especially when I don't have makeup on. So this is what I'm going to be wearing today as well. And this is the Clinique Pep Start. It's called the Pout Restoring Night Mask, but like I said, I use it all day long and I love it. And then for the tiny little bit of makeup part that there is to this video, like I said, I just defined my brows. I penciled them in using my Anastasia brow wick. I applied a couple of coats of mascara. So usually when I go out, I do apply a little bit of concealer, but I do that using my pinky. For when I don't have makeup on, I usually go in with a little bit of a darker concealer, because you don't want the contrast to be too harsh, especially now that you have a little bit more of a tan going. You don't want to have that bright under eye. So this one I actually love, and I love applying this and not setting it, because I use so little that you don't need to set it, in my opinion, at least for me. And this is actually a great drugstore concealer that I highly recommend. And this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer Corrector. And then what I do is I actually have to sit up a little bit because I forgot a mirror. Can you believe it? I traveled without a mirror. I can't believe it. I actually have like 3 bags of like skincare and hair products and a little bit of makeup, but I don't even have a mirror with me. I mean, come on. So anyway, I have a mirror in the background. I'm just going to use that right now, and I just put a little bit like that. And it's mostly because I have a little bit of redness down here, and also just to brighten up. Of course, I have mascara on, so I'm not just going to like drag it up too close to my eye. And I just really pat that in like that using my finger. And also a quick little tip, then when applying, whether it's a cream or a concealer to your under eye and you're using your finger, it's a good idea to go in very light-handed. You don't really want to rub your under eye too much. And again on the other side, and we're just blending that out. I drag it down to my nose a little bit, just because, like I said, I have a little bit of redness there. And sometimes what I'll do as well is go in with a little bit of a bronzer. This is a very neutral bronzer. And this is the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula, which I use all the time. Even when I have a lot of makeup on, I like to bronze up my face with this one. Today, what I'm going to use it for is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to use it just to kind of contour, give a slight contour. I'm not going to bronze up my face or anything like that. I just dip it in very lightly, and I just leave it right here. Right here. And I like this bronzer because it is so light, but it just gives you a very slight definition. And I leave that right there in your contour line, in the hollows of your cheek. And I really don't blend that down too far. And I actually don't mind applying a little bit of powder products to my face, even when I don't have makeup on. Again, we're all different. We have different skin. This is what works for me. If you guys have any tips or anything, any recommendation or anything that you like to do, please leave a comment down below, because I would love to know. Also, if you have some great skincare products or travel products, again, leave a comment down below, because I love to hear people's recommendations, especially for when you travel, because I think that can be so hard sometimes. You still want to look a little bit glam, but you don't want to go overboard. You don't want to spend 3 hours in your hotel room doing your makeup. And this is something that I always do, even when I really don't have makeup on, because I think a nice glow is so important. A lot of people like to use cream highlighters when they have nothing on their skin. I personally don't, but that's just a personal preference. I like powder highlighters so much more, even when I don't have makeup on my skin, just because I think it's a little bit more natural, a little bit lighter. And also, if you put too much, it's just easier to just kind of like correct your mistakes, if you will. So what I like to do, again, when I travel, I use a different brush for highlighting. I use a fluffier brush like this one. And this particular one is by Luxie. It's their 522 Tapered Highlight. And I like it because it's so fluffy and therefore not very precise. And that's what I want. I don't want, usually when I go out and I have a lot of makeup on, I'll use a much more precise brush to apply my highlight, because I want it like really focused on a certain area. Now I don't. I just want a nice little glow. And I'm using today the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter, one of my absolute favorite highlighters, especially when you want to go a little bit more natural. So I just swirl that around my highlighter, and I just leave that right there where I usually apply my highlighter, I just go a little bit more easy-handed, not as precise. And it does actually give you a nice little glow. And then drag it up to my brow bone a little bit like that and down, almost like creating a C shape. Just gives you a nice little glow in your vacation photos. And if you will, you can add a little bit to the tip of your nose. And that is it for my vacation routine, you guys. Like I said, if you do have any recommendations for me, please leave a comment down below because I would love to hear your recommendations. As always, if you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Other than that, have a great day or night wherever you guys are, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. My fiance just came in the middle of my video, interrupted it, and I thought he was gonna.
Hey, ladies!
And I thought he was gonna bring me coffee, but he didn't bring me any coffee because everything was closed.
No, I did bring her coffee, but she only drinks lattes.
That's right.